Thank you. So can you tell me a little bit about Zero Empty Spaces and what is the space that we're currently in right now?
Sure. So we started Zero Empty Spaces about a year ago, and the first location we had was on Las Olas. We had gotten the space through a conversation we had with our local mayor that connected us with the owner of Las Olas company, where we opened up our first location. And since then, we've kind of grown into 10 locations across South Florida. And our first foray into Palm Beach was at the Boca Center. And then this was our second location, and it's actually our largest location out of all of our spaces. The Legacy place has been really, really great in terms of kind of allowing us to come into this space and allowing us to kind of like spread this concept to other parts of South Florida. We've been always very interested in kind of coming into the Palm Beach County market with relationships we have with quite a few artists, and some of which are here. And you know, the concept that we had hoped to be able to kind of create all these different groups of artists and artist communities throughout South Florida, and with the number of vacant spaces that are available, we felt that those would actually be the perfect locations to be able to have affordable artist studio spaces where artists could create and be nurtured by the other artists that they're around and collaborate with. Many years ago, when Wynwood was first being developed, I had some great friends that were artists in that community, and they had come into that Wynwood area before the development and really saw how their involvement in these areas really helped push the building of that area. And you know, we thought that if we could create multiple pods or areas that allow these things to happen, we can really help build community. We can really help build a cultural environment in community. And of course, all the artists that are in the spaces are also local to the market. So it's a really great way to kind of like involve the community, give artists spaces like yourself to be able to, you know, grow and develop. And of course, with the fact that the space has multiple people, you have artists that have been working full-time as artists for 40 years, but then you have artists that have just started, or artists that are in college. So you have all these different dynamics of artists of ages, of artists that, you know, come from different countries. And so just the dynamic alone creates some really interesting conversations, really interesting work. You know, I said over the year, I think we've been able to see artists really, really grow and expand their craft. Which has been really exciting for us. And then, you know, we hear so many stories about artists that have been painting in their home for a very long time, haven't really exposed their art to anybody else. And then this opportunity kind of really gives them to do it on a really kind of low cost kind of way, you know, because we essentially do the spaces at $2 per square foot. We pay all the utilities, and it's month to month. So, you know, if the artist is having a hard time with funding, they can actually leave after a month. So there's a lot of flexibility, which you don't really get in a lot of opportunities for artist studio spaces, where you normally kind of have to sign a 1-year lease. And the landlords, and the agreement we make with them is that we go on a zero cost rent with the landlords. It's month to month. We provide a certificate of liability insurance for the space, so we assume all the liability. We're essentially the one point of contact for all the landlords and property owners, and then we cover all the utilities. So the landlord doesn't really have a cost for us being here, and we're on a month-to-month basis with most of our locations. Legacy Place has fortunately given us a year runway at this location, which has been really, really gracious of them. But most of our locations are month-to-month with a month to notice to vacate. So with that, the landlord has a ton of flexibility if he has really serious interest in a permanent lease. So he's not really losing anything in the time frame that we're here, but it's creating a lot of incredible activity for that property owner at the space, given that we have these incredible artists here working, and the space is open from 12 to 5, Monday through Sunday. And the artists do have 24-hour access to work, but the public hours are 12 to 5. So for properties and landlords that have a thriving kind of environment where they have other retailers and other tenants, this space is also open to kind of really help with that walkability and help kind of increase all the activity in the area. We're really big believers in the whole creative economy concept and how creative people and artists are really integral to really thriving cultural environments, and how those cultural environments then translate into, you know, attracting and retaining talent. You know, they translate to corporations wanting to move to areas that have a really, really great, robust kind of creative community. And if these little pods of artists in all of these little areas, especially in vacant storefronts that are in kind of our main streets, are then activated by artists that are very intellectual, interpretive people, I think it's really able to kind of really transform areas and really transform areas in a very authentic way.
Hi, my name is Ashley Capps. I'm a creative, intuitive, grounded thinker, a solid, strong builder, and a joyful, loving mother. So my friend Camilla Webster, who is an artist on Palm Beach Island, asked me to go look at the space because she knows that I live right down the road in Jupiter. And so I went and toured the space on a Saturday, and I found a room for her, and then I got one for myself too.
So how has this space pushed your creativity, and were there any sort of aha moments?
A lot of people know me as an organizer and someone who brings communities together, whether it's through art, nature, tours. I have used art my entire life as a way to soothe myself, work through my own process, work through my own pain, my own journey. And I'm realizing that my purpose here in life is not to move mountains, but to be the mountain and to shine. And so I'm doing that with my art, and being around other artists provides me an opportunity to feel accepted and be vulnerable.
What does this unconventional space mean to you as an artist? And then how do you think the art actually transforms the space?
So for me, it's been transformable because I started up my own online shop called For Home Garden with Shopify. So all these journals, all my drawings and sketches and doodles, I have high image photographs of them, and I've already started to put them on products. And then I'm working with some other artists to license material as well. And the best part about Zero Empty Spaces, being in here, having my very first art studio, is to be seen by others. The power of being seen, the power of being validated. When someone validates you, it is life-changing. So I appreciate this space for that. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Palm Beach, Leadership Palm Beach, class of 2020. Y'all are the tenacious group. This is amazing. Thank you so much for seeing me. And I look forward to you coming to see my studio in person.